What up, nerds? Welcome to Movies and Shows with Comics and Pops from Team Nerd Herd. And today we're going to be reviewing Warrior Nun from Netflix. So we'll start off with the comic book. So the comic book came out in the 90s and was drawn by Ben Dunn with his manga style. So you get a lot of exaggerations, a lot of speed lines. It's really a sight to see. I really enjoyed it, especially since I was into all of that, watching anime, and I really was drawn in by all that art that Ben Dunn did for Warrior Nun Ariala. So also, I did go to Catholic school, so seeing all those nuns, fighting for the benefit of humankind really got to me, because the nuns where I was at, they had amazing skills with chalk, erasers, and rulers. So for me, it wouldn't be hard to believe that these nuns were actual trained assassins or trained to protect us. So it really drew me in. This book I thought was incredible for the time. I like the whole aspect of incorporating religious artifacts and also religion into a comic book. I thought it was very well made. I, again, really felt like this was something that was so cool. And again, I really liked the artwork. So moving on to the movie, or the series, excuse me, which is 10 episodes, which unfortunately I think was way too long for this particular series. I felt that it should have been inspired by the comic book versus based on the comic book. They took a lot of liberties. They did things that I didn't see or liked in the comic book that I didn't like or didn't see in the actual series itself. Again, I thought that the pacing of the series was rather slow. It took a while to build up the relationships, to build up the character. So for me, I found myself being bored at times, going through, each episode. But I did like the characterization of Shotgun Mary. I thought she stole the show. She was amazing, had the best lines. And I did like that one episode, I think it was 6, if I'm not mistaken, where her and Ava actually had an episode just with them together. So you see them bond and see their different experiences and different thoughts on things. One of the other things too that I found that kind of turned me off on this series was the inner monologue that Ava had. I thought it slowed down pacing, and I thought it was very unnecessary, for the show. I thought they would speed things along a lot better if they eliminated a lot of that. Also, I was a little disappointed, and again, this is coming from the comic book world, that in the comic book you had demons, like actual physical demons, that interacted with the protagonists. In the show, you had this gas that would help manipulate bad people. So I thought that, it would have been better if they had a lot of those demons physically there interacting with a lot of these bad people. So that way you feel more of like a sword and sorcerer or fantasy type of show, as opposed to this gaseous thing. Also in the comic book, you did see a lot of the priests doing a lot of the heroics. In the show, you didn't get a lot of that, or didn't get any of it, actually. The priests were more on the sidelines. They played more of a Giles role, to compare it to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So they really didn't do much other than provide information and direction. So your Buffy or Ava would go about and take all of that information and do her thing. So again, I was a little disappointed. I thought it would be exactly like the comic, or at least be based on the comic book or have that comic book feel, but it didn't. Again, they took a lot of liberties. Honestly, I think it could have been a separate show with a different name. They didn't have to use Warrior Nun. They could have called it something else, and kind of shied away or got away from the actual comic. Again, if you're kind of looking at this, I wouldn't compare it to Warrior Nun. I feel it would be more of a Buffy the Vampire Slayer kind of thing. versus, again, the Warrior Nun, the comic. As a comic book fan, I was very, very disappointed. I didn't like it. As just a typical or average viewer, again, I thought it was very slow. I thought they could have done a lot better with the pacing. Shotgun Mary definitely deserves a bigger role if this decides to go into a second season. If it goes to a second season or not, I'd be happy. It just doesn't matter, to be honest. To each their own. If you found that you liked it, please write me a comment. Let me know what you liked about the show, and what you didn't like. Again, for me, pacing, the inner monologue, it not being like the comic book, even the antagonists, it didn't feel as if these people were major baddies or major threats to the world. So again, this is Comics and Pops signing off. But don't forget, add a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I want to know what your thoughts are on Warrior Nun, whether or not you liked it or not. And also, too, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to do it right, watch what you like.